Hello, Bashar.
Hello.
First, I'd like to say I experienced great joy and excitement in hearing the words from you.
We experience ecstatic joy and excitement in interacting with all of you.
Thank you. My question is, I'd like you to discuss an antidote or remedy for getting in the way of the true self because of the personality.
We have already done this to some degree.
Yes.
Following what excites you the most is what allows you to be the true self.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The medicine, so to speak, is that simple. All you need to do is take it.
Right.
Now, first of all, what may be, quote-unquote, getting in your way also is the assumption that the personality has to get in the way. Personality is not who or what you are. It is an artificial construct. And therefore, it is your artificial construct. What do you wish it to be? Define it, and that's what it will be. Define the idea you prefer to be and you are most excited about being at any given moment, and the persona has absolutely no choice but to become a reflection, a representation of the idea you believe most strongly in. You know is you.
So the idea is to control the personality as opposed to the personality controlling
Well,
your
in a
truth.
sense, but control may lead to conflict. You do not have to control it. In a sense, it is already under your control. It is your creation.
Mm-hmm.
You are already controlling it. You have never lost control. Your personality at any given moment is absolutely always a perfect reflection of what you believe it most likely can be. It is always under your control and has never been out of your control, ever. Always it is a reflection of what you believe most strongly. That is why when you see situations occurring in your physical reality, when you see ideas occurring in your physical personality, it is not there to show you that you are out of control. It is not there to show you you have failed. It is not there to show you you are stuck. It is there to show you what you believe. And if you don't prefer it, change it. Your personality will change accordingly to whatever idea you know is who you are. But you have to truly know it and act like you know it and trust that you know it. Then your persona can change to show you beyond a shadow of a doubt that you do in fact know who you are.
Okay.
But you are never out of control, even when you create the illusion that you are. You follow me?
Yeah.
So first and foremost, lighten up on yourself, lighten up on your personality. It is simply a prism. Your personality is a prism. It has three corners: belief, emotion, and thought. Those three corners form your physical persona. The idea you are at any given moment is the white light of your homogeneous consciousness. It comes through the prism and breaks down into whatever type of spectrum you have defined the prism to be. So examine your beliefs, your feelings, and your thoughts. And when you allow yourself to simply know that you wish to have certain beliefs in a certain way, then that will define your feelings, that will define your thoughts, that will describe the prism of your personality, and therefore that will be the way the white light of your homogeneous consciousness breaks down into the spectrum you see as your physical reality. You follow me?
Yes.
But?
I'm not sure what you mean by beliefs.
All right. Beliefs is a patterned system of perspectives of the situation you are creating yourself to be in. Your relationship to that situation. Where you think you, quote-unquote, stand relative to any particular concept or notion. How you relate to it. How it relates to you. Those are your beliefs. I believe in the idea of dis-ease. I believe that if, therefore, I do such and such, it will result in such and such. And so it does. You are setting up the equation Beliefs are simply equations. They are cause and effect equations. That is what your beliefs are. You simply say, if A happens, B will follow. That is a belief. You can allow A and B to be any definition you wish. And when you redefine what A and B are, it changes the entire event. You follow me? And in many scenarios, A can go into the B space and B can go into the A space. It does not have to be linear. Cause and effect are single event, and one does not necessarily have to come first. If you create a strong enough effect, nature, not allowing there to be a vacuum in creation, will supply the cause to support the effect you have created. So that is why in life, many individuals, as we have used this analogy before, will go through life absolutely refusing to be happy until they find a good enough reason to be happy, a good enough cause to be happy. If they would allow themselves to perhaps come from the point of view that they really don't have a reason to not be happy, and allow themselves to simply create the effect of happiness, then nature will supply all of the causes to support the happiness.
So act as if, actually.
Yes. That is it.
Thank you.
It is believing is seeing, not seeing is believing. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
Hello.
How are you?
Perfect. And you?
Fine.
You are perfect as well, whether you know it or not.
try.
In your own way, you do not have to try.
My question is, let me tell you a little bit about myself.
All right.
I'll be brief. I'm just getting into, learning about New Age awareness, and
Speak up a little louder, please.
Okay, I'll speak up. I can't help but be a little skeptical.
That is all right. We do not
Okay.
care. For you understand, in your society, it is the habit of the way you think to think that anytime anyone has something to share, they share it because they wish to prove something, and we have absolutely nothing to prove.
Well, I want to find my inner light. I want to find myself, and I want to spread my knowledge to other people.
You go right ahead.
But how do I know that the people, let's see, on my venture to find myself
Yay.
are real?
Real? Everything
in
is
the
real.
sense of people not faking something, if you know what I mean.
Let me put it this way. Whether they are, quote-unquote, faking it or not, if what they share with you works for you, it doesn't matter who they are. And that is actually the whole idea. Take what works for you no matter where it comes from. If it doesn't work, don't use it. If it works, use it. That's all there is to it. You follow me?
Yes, I do.
That is why we are coming now in the manner we are coming. Because this way, you don't have to believe we are who we say we are. And the message itself is what is more important, not the messenger. Because it has been the habit of your society to lock onto the messenger and ignore the message. So take the message for whatever it means to you. Use it if it works. Find what works. Use it. That's the idea. That's all there is to it. That is what is real. What works for you is what for you is most real. What doesn't work, you don't need to think about it right now. If it works for you later, you'll think about it then. You follow me? You follow me?
Yes, I do.
Now, also, allow me to point out one thing, what you call skepticism. Many individuals in your society think, all right, I'm going to be very scientific, I will be skeptical. Skepticism is not a scientific attitude. Objectivity is. Skepticism is a pre-built bias. Objectivity is balanced. Objectivity says, all right, here's a concept. How does this apply? How can this be applied? What can I learn of it? One way or another. What in this concept will work or won't work for me? Skepticism says this is hogwash. I will, therefore, go in exploring this with resistance already, rather than an open, balanced, objective point of view. Nothing is truly ever truly objective. Everything is always subjective. But you can create, subjectively, an objective attitude. But skepticism is not scientific. And any true, quote-unquote, scientist will be the first to understand that. Because if skepticism were a scientific tool, there would be very few things you would ever discover. So when, many times, individuals in your society say that they are skeptical, many times it is simply a misinterpretation. Many times they are being truly objective. But many times when individuals think they are being objective, they are actually being skeptical, which means they already have a built-in belief about what it is they are approaching. Do you follow me?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. And also allow us to remind you that because skepticism is a built-in belief, then quite often skepticism will only be able to manifest in life the result of that belief. In other words, I told you so. And when you get the manifestation that lets the individual say, see, I told you so, that's an indication that the only reason they got that manifestation is because they, to begin with, believed that they were going to be able to say, I told you so. So it is a self-perpetuating prophecy. Thank you for your sharing. You are the path you need to be. Do not forget, a path is not what you are on. A path is what you are. You cannot be off of yourself. Enjoy the path you have created yourself to be. We thank you for sharing that idea with us at this timing. We will suggest that you all enjoy a short break. How's everything going? Sharing.
Different things happened in my life that made me arrive here 7 months ago.
I
feel like I have something to learn in LA. I tried with macrobiotics and different things, but I still feel that I'm not going to make it. Can you help me?
make it in what?
I don't know. The purpose for me is learning something here, and
You are learning by anything that you do. Everything is a valid tool. Everything. If you are going through life perhaps simply looking for a few specific things, you may overlook the fact that everything that happens in your life is there for a reason. Everything. Even though you may have created specific manifestations that you desire to unveil in this particular life, the living of this life in the fullest way you possibly can is the actual fundamental purpose of this life. Because whether or not you have ever lived before, whether or not you will ever live again, you are a reincarnational being, but you will only be this you once. So, in that sense, you do only have one life to live as this you. Therefore, living this life to the fullest is the purpose of this life. Within that life, there may be many things you truly desire to do. Therefore, many individuals, when they go through life looking for a specific thing that would seem like the purpose of their lives, create difficulty in finding that thing because they don't recognize it's up to them to decide what that thing is. Anything that excites you the most is the purpose that you will decide to do. And you will be therefore fulfilling the purpose of your life, because you will be living it, as you say, to the hilt. So, what excites you the most? What do you want to do? Anything that you have experienced will simply add to your ability and knowledge to let you do the things that excite you the most. So whether you are exploring, as you have said, macrobiotics or yoga or I Ching or astrology or science or religion or economics or politics or any of these ideas, they are all tools. They are all different ways to learn more and more about yourself. The fundamental reason being to do what you wish to do. Learn about yourself in all these different ways so you can do the thing that excites you the most in the best way that you can. So you must make the conscious decision as to what the quote-unquote fulfillment and purpose in your life will be. You follow me?
Yeah.
What excites you?
Sailing.
And?
Sailing.
And?
Sailing.
And sailing, all right. Then, why not sail?
I'm just taking a break.
Do understand that you can be of service to other individuals even while you are enjoying sailing. You could be teaching them how to sail. You could be sailing them places they wish to go. You can be of service to many individuals by doing what it is that excites you the most and making a living at it. Just because something in life excites you beyond anything else doesn't mean it's not a valid way to make a living. So follow what excites you the most. When you know you are fulfilling the person that you are within integrity and are willing to be of service to those that may require your service, then you will be able to fulfill in service to other individuals, and in turn, the individuals that need your service will only need the service that will allow you to be who it is you are. And you will not be expected to be anything else. So do what excites you the most, and at any given moment, act upon whatever opportunity comes to your life that represents what excites you the most, that you are capable of acting upon. That's it. That's all you need to do. And you will be supported in complete and total abundance. You follow me?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sail away. Sharing.
Good evening, Bashar.
Good evening.
This is my first time to hear channeling such as this. This is my first time here.
Welcome.
Thank you. It is a great pleasure and very exciting to hear the simple questions turned into very deep and philosophical and wondrous answers. I have an extremely simple question. I would like to contact an ancestor of mine, a great-great-great-grandfather. Is such a thing possible?
Such a thing is possible. However, first of all, recognize that many individuals that in your terms have physically died some time ago may already be reincarnated and physically alive again. Also, many times, even if they are still non-physical, there will be many things that they will be learning in their own realms, and in a sense, they are not focused in the same way that they used to be towards the physical realm. So contact between you may not necessarily be as blatant as you may think it has to be, or as blatant as you think it should be. However, no matter what state any particular portion of an individual is experiencing at this time, one portion is always contactable. For every single individual, whether you can understand this technically or not, is existent within every other single individual. So that portion that represents that ancestor to you exists within you, and it is quite possible to have dialogues with it, and it will be just as real as talking to the original idea. because everything is simultaneous. You see, when you think, well, I have to talk to this person, and to do so, I must reach back into the deep, dark recesses of time, break through these barriers, stretch myself across the fabric of these gulfs and chasms in order to reach them, then you are not understanding that linear time is your illusion, and that all lives exist now, but are simply in different orientations, so that one life may not be aware of another life. One moment. What is the time frame of that individual?
The time frame of what is, he was born in 1763. May I tell you slight about him?
Not yet.
All right. He lived until 1840.
What is your present age?
61.
Are you discovering something now within your life that has to do with either trade or what you would colloquially call magic?
I have been reading books that would be based on psychic phenomena lately. Trade, magic, I'm not sure.
All right. What is the idea of psychic phenomena to you? What does it mean to be psychic?
There are things that are known that I don't consciously know. When someone can express or accomplish something in a realm that I don't consciously understand, I consider that a psychic phenomenon.
Now you have described an effect,
Yes.
but what is it? What is it to function psychically?
I don't know.
All right. What is the feeling? All right. Functioning psychically is simply empathy, identification with another individual. It is, in fact, a type of being in love. Now, when you are in love in that way and identifying fully with another individual, you adopt a similar pattern of vibratory frequency. That similar pattern of vibratory frequency allows you to interpret the energy of the universe in the same or a similar way that they interpret it. So you create in your mind similar thought patterns. It is not that you're actually reading their minds. You are, in a sense, mimicking their minds to know what they think. That is how psychicness functions. When you create a link with any other individual, no matter when they physically live, then you are identifying not just with them, but as them. And conversely, many times, individuals that you find yourself drawn to will many times be an indication of an extension of the same energy. You are already identifying as that individual. Now, to some degree, not absolutely 100% a literal continuation on every level, but on many levels, we are perceiving that your energy is a continuation of the energy you have described. In other words, you are the reincarnation. You follow me?
I believe I heard you.
Will that suffice for now?
Yes, thank you.
Therefore, if you wish to have a conversation with that individual, talk to yourself. Talk to that aspect of your mind that represents that vibratory identity, and you will be in communion, if you will, with that identity. Shouting.
Bashar,
Yes!
why in this present day, are the Arabs experiencing so many difficulties, and why do they seem to be so maligned in this country?
There are many, many sociological structures that they have created for themselves to mold themselves into. Many, many reasons for which you do not have what you call the time for us to go into in great detail. But basically, you will find much of their energy in many past incarnations has been put towards the idea of warfare. And in this way, therefore, they are jostling to understand themselves as a different expression, learning that they can express the power and the energy that they feel so naturally connected with in terms of the earth. They can express it now in more positive ways. They are learning the balance. Many, and this is one of the reasons, now we are not saying this is absolutely exclusively so, but one of the reasons for part of the physical channel's background being Arabic is because that particular manifestation played a part in past lives with much of that culture in that area as to how the original Orion energy on Earth was assimilated into your culture. A very, very strong Orion incarnation was the historical individual you call Sargon of Akkad. This individual is recognized in your history as being responsible for the creation of the Arabic Empire. Therefore, it is founded on many Orion principles. In that way, therefore, they are struggling simply because they believe, as the Orions did in those times, that to struggle was the only way to express and understand the self, and do it through the idea of conflict. They are now beginning to assimilate into many other cultures that allow them the opportunity to recognize they can blend and balance that energy in a positive way, and it does not have to be a struggle or a conflict of ideologies, and that the blending of all ideologies is what will actually paradoxically allow them to express their own ideology the easiest. Is this making any sense to you?
Very interesting, thank you.
Thank you very much.
You didn't answer the second part.
Continue.
Why are they so maligned in this country?
Maligned, again, is only the idea that individuals are placing judgments upon other individuals, which is the same thing as saying they are placing judgments upon aspects of themselves. They do instinctively represent many ideas of that conflict, and many times individuals may sense this and may place upon those individuals as a scapegoat, so to speak, the aspects of themselves that they are also in conflict with. You follow me? So the assimilation of the cultures in an equalizing way will allow them to express themselves and allow your culture to express itself by recognizing that any unity you wish to experience upon your planet will be the result of granting equality and validity to the infinite diversity of the different cultures upon your planet relative to the way they choose to express themselves and their understanding of their relationship to infinite creation.
Assimilation of culture? Would you explain?
The blending, the sharing of concepts from one culture to another, so that one culture does not have to continue to think that their way is the only way to understand creation. And that there are many different valid tools that are existent in other cultures that can be learned from. And that you are all connected on that level as one culture anyway. You follow me?
Good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, Bashar.
One moment.
Certainly.
You had a very empathic and strong incarnation in that culture, perhaps more than one, but one that we are perceiving as what you might call a princess in the Arabic culture many of your years ago. And that may have something to do with some of the connections you are perceiving within yourself now. And it may lead you into expressing those aspects of yourself. Continue.
On the last day of 1986, I was in a metaphysical bookstore and I saw a man that I seemed to recognize very strongly. And he had the same feeling about me. And so
Many times this is an indication of past life connections.
I figured that was something to do with it. Now, last weekend I was due to meet this person at a local convention, but it turned out that the person who was going to... Certainly. Okay. The person who was going to give me a ride to this convention, her car, I guess conveniently, broke down.
All right.
And so we didn't get to meet. And I went to see a movie instead. The movie I saw was called Vagabond. It was about a French girl hitchhiking around France. And in a sense, it was a movie about someone searching for total freedom, but in a sense, creating out of it total loneliness. Now, the movie really struck a chord within me because I'm about to make a journey soon myself. And I've experienced similar things when I've traveled before.
Then it has strengthened you by giving you an opportunity to recognize that now that you have seen how one individual may have translated the idea of being alone into a negative aspect, you now know that you do not have to prefer that and you can gain empowerment from the idea of your aloneness.
Definitely. This is what I was feeling as I left the movie house. On the way home, I created an interesting symbol that I feel was an instant demonstration of this.
Do share.
I was walking down the street and a car pulled over and a man wound his window down about an inch and he said, "I'd like to ask you a hypothetical question." So I wondered, "Oh, what's happening here? What am I doing?" And so I said, "Would you wind your window down a little bit more so I can hear you?" And he wound it down a little bit more, not very much. And he then said, "I would like you to get in the car and drive around the corner," and he pointed to around the corner where it was dark, "and assist me in mentally torturing myself and giving me ideas of how to physically torture myself."
All right.
Something on that level, basically.
Nice.
And I got kind of, my first impression was, well, this is interesting, and do I want to pursue this or not? And I chose not to pursue it. However, as I was walking away, I realized that if I had made the choice to go there, or even I had the feeling that maybe I could have invited him to my house and talked with this being and shared some of the ideas that I have about, or that I have experienced to do with struggle and pain.
All right.
And now I'm changing my own ideas
All
about
right.
that. In thinking about this, it's reflected to me, this is my version, I'd like you to share whatever you feel
All right.
about it.
You were speaking to a fragment of yourself,
Yes.
but continue.
I felt that I was seeing myself before,
Yes.
so to speak.
Yes.
And
a
the
past
window,
self. Yes.
The window was, in my opinion, was representative of the old aspect of myself only wanted to open the window a little bit.
Very
but I wanted the
good.
window all the way down.
Very good.
And so that I could reflect to the old portion of myself and unify the old portion with the new portion.
Your trust in vulnerability as strength, not as weakness.
That's what I was thinking. Thank you.
We thank you for such a loving conversation with yourself and the opportunity for the future self you have now become to send information to the past self you were to allow them to harmonize with you. We thank you for your creation of simultaneous synchronicity in your life, rather than placing yourself along a linear track. Thank you. There are more convolutions and pliable manifestations of time that many of you may encounter from this point forward, where you can meet yourself coming and going in all the reflective ways that you need to be the fullest possible manifestation of the being you now know yourself to be in this present reality. Sharing.